Architecture by Merez, Kennedy, and Michaela.
Table of contents. Slide 1 is about architecture. Slide 2 is about pyramids and sphinx. 3 is about dams and irrigation. 4 is materials and workers. 5 is famous works. 6 is the influence on modern arts. And 7 is the conclusion.
What is architecture? Architecture is the art of practice or designing. Is the art or practice of designing, sketching, conceiving, planning, and or constructing buildings. And there are three main types of architecture, which are environmental design, like parks and courtyards, interior architecture, like homes and offices, and landscape architecture, like zoos, resorts, and public gardens. There are several careers that involve architecture, such as a landscape architect, an urban planner, a research architect, a restoration architect, a lighting architect, a political architect, and an extreme architect.
The pyramid and sphinx. The Egyptian pyramids are ancient masonry structures located in Egypt. A pyramid, ancient masonry buildings called Egyptian pyramids, can be seen in Egypt. There are at least 118 known Egyptian pyramids, according to sources. About 80 pyramids were constructed in the Kingdom of Kush, which is now known as part contemporary Sudan. The majority of those found in modern Egypt were constructed as tombs for the rulers of the nation during the Old and Middle Kingdom eras. The Sphinx is a legendary animal with a human head and a lion-like body and falcon and wings. According to Greek mythologies, the Sphinx features of a female head, lionish hindquarters, and bird-like wings. She is portrayed in mythology as a cunning and ruthless character who will kill and eat anyone who can't solve her riddle. In the myth and play of Oedipus, there is a leaf of the Sphinx.
Dams and irrigation. So the ancient Egyptians built canals with gates so that they could manage the water from the Nile, because if they didn't, then if the rivers overflowed, their crops and their settlements would be flooded and destroyed. So they dug out ditches to make reservoirs to store the extra water. And in the first picture, you can see the person taking water out of the river, and that tool is called a shadoof, and basically it kind of worked like a seesaw. So the person on the other end would use it. It was a handheld device, so that they would push it down, and the water that was attached, the water would come up into that bucket that was attached there, and then it would be pulled up and deposited on the shore.
Materials and workers. There were several materials used to build these structures, including 2 million plus limestone blocks, which is like for the pyramids. They also used a mathematical formula, the Egyptian cubit measurement. They used brick ramps and strong sleds, but that's debatable because we don't know exactly how they got the limestone blocks on the shore. People think they used brick ramps or strong sleds or even used the water. For workers, they used about 100,000 workers plus workers to build the pyramids, and these workers were paid in grain and beer.
Influences on modern architecture. So modern architectural structures have been heavily inspired by ancient Egyptian creations. Examples of this would be contemporary buildings that exist right now, such as the Memphis Pyramid. Memphis is also named after Memphis in ancient Egypt, and the Louvre Museum in France, both of which are pyramid-shaped structures, as you can see in this first picture. And The Washington Monument in Washington, D.C. is also modeled after the obelisks that they used in ancient Egypt, and that's in the second picture over here.
Conclusion. The ancient Egyptians are best known for their amazing works in architecture, like the Great Pyramids of Giza/Kush and the Sphinx. For the construction of these structures, hundreds of thousands of skilled workers were hired and paid. In addition, they built dams and irrigation systems to benefit farming practices and civilization. And these examples of architecture from the ancient world have influenced the works that we see today, such as the Memphis Pyramid.
That's it. Thank you for watching.